Hello, my name is Shipwreck Pirate, and welcome back to my series of creating all the Stardew Valley characters and locations in The Sims 2. This episode, we're working on Elliott and his cabin. I've approaching this a little differently than I did the last episode. I've got it all filmed here and the creation. Now, this is a much shorter episode as it was not very hard to make one sim in a very small one-room cabin, but I did have a lot of fun. His face did give me a lot of trouble because we only ever see him from the side, so I didn't really have a good idea of what he looked like, but I tried my best. I picked the last name Finch because I thought Elliott Finch sounded like a really fun writer's name. I feel like it would make a really good last name to write with, so that's what I went with. You will see his hair here in a minute. It's too dark of a red. But it was the only hair I could find that I thought would work for him, that has the sort of swoop on the side and was long. There's one Sims 2 hair that kind of looks like that, but it's too stringy and not swoopy enough. So I did what I could to find it. His face gave me a lot of trouble, as you're going to see here. I'm pretty sure a good chunk of this video is making him. It was really hard to get the features the way that I thought would fit. I mean, we only ever see him from the side, so I'm not sure how symmetrical his face is. I'm not sure, what he looks like from the front, so I was doing the best I could. Of course, if you think there are some differences that you would have made, let me know. I mean, I can't really change them now, but I'd love to know what you think I could have done differently. I think in the end, he turned out quite Elliott-like. I captured the essence of him, I think. I don't know. I hope I did. I think I did. I tried to get his little smirkiness. Also, he's got really thin lips. If you've looked at his sprite, he has really thin lips, which I will put the sprite up here on the screen, probably over the presets section, so you can see it. But the man does not have thick lips, and he's cute, but it was kind of hard to get his lips the right thinness and then his jaw right, and it's hard to make a character that you only ever see from the side. Like, at least with Haley and Emily, we see their sprites from head on. There's the hair. It looks a little more aerial than Elliott, and the swoop's on the wrong side, but I think I went and I looked for that's the only other option, and that one just didn't fit either. Oh, don't tell me I went with that one. I don't think I went with that one. Did I go with that one? I can't remember if I went with that one or not. Oh. I recorded this whole thing probably a week ago now. Yeah, about a week ago now. So I'm not sure. I think this is where I paused to go see if I could find better hair for him. No, that's where I paused to look at his clothes. I needed to find his outfit and see if I can find something that works well. There wasn't really anything that looked very Elliott, so I had to go with a sort of approximation that kept his vibe. That is something you're going to see me run into here in the future, is a lot of it isn't going to be exact. So it's a lot of trying to keep the same energy with sort of the way that they dress and carry themselves. I'm pretty sure I went with this suit. Yeah. That just felt very Elliott to me. You got the turtleneck under the suit jacket. I did play around with the idea of putting him in a pirate costume. I thought it would be very funny to put him in a pirate costume, but I did ultimately decide against it. Tails, obviously, give him the coat with tails. It just feels very fancy man. Robe for underwear, red pajamas. Did I put him in the robe? No, I put him in silky green pajamas. That's right. I need to do these voiceovers closer to when I actually make them. I didn't think he had much of a need for very fun outerwear. Oh, personality time. He's kind of a quiet dude, but he's nice. He's a nice, quiet, neat dude. I mean, you have to be neat if you live in that tiny house. Logical and charismatic is what I went with because I think that's very him, and I think he's one of the few that would be very turned off by stink. All right, building his cabin did not take very long. The hard part was making it look functional. not look functional, be functional. Because there is no kitchen in his home. There is no bathroom in his home. So that was fun. It's also a square and the inside's a rectangle. I love the game, but the layouts do not make sense at all. Oh, that's the tiny bathroom that I plan to include. He's going to get a really teeny tiny bathroom, like an itty bitty bathroom. So that way he has somewhere to pee. Because they may not need them why didn't he put bathrooms in the Stardew Valley houses? I don't understand that. I really don't. I also put in an outdoor shower for Elliott. I toyed with doing a half wall for the whole thing versus a whole wall. But I felt like an outdoor beach shower just kind of fit with the vibe of his cabin and the property. This was supposed to be a beachfront property, but I couldn't figure out how to get the beach lots to work. I've never used them before. I am going to play around with them to try and get Willie's house to be right, but I've never used them before, and I couldn't get it to work here, so I've got to look up how they work to try and make it look right. And if I can, I may try to figure out if I can move this house or remake this house on that lot. If not, oh well, don't have it. I mean, luckily Elliott's house is really simple. It's a square with paneling and interior paneling. It's a super simple house. Like, majorly simple. But, I mean, it fits the dude. It works for what he's got. This is actually bigger than his house is in the game. But it didn't make sense otherwise. It didn't look right. I gave him some interior windows as well. You know, the dude needs some help. Like, what does he eat in the game? What does he eat? He doesn't have a kitchen. Like, everybody else has a kitchen except for Linus, and it makes sense why Linus doesn't have a kitchen because he lives in the wilderness. Why doesn't Elliott have a kitchen? Does he eat out all the time? I mean, he doesn't even have a mini fridge. I have my issues with Elliott's cabin. I have many issues with Elliott's cabin. I fixed them in this game. I fixed my issues with Elliott's cabin. So this little section right by the bathroom becomes a kitchen. That's all add-on section. So I wanted to try and keep the addition well contained with itself and keep everything kind of proportional space-wise. The rest of the time. I mean, I'm quite happy with it. I think it works. And the build is functional. And that's a very important part of this, is making sure the build is functional. It's a little weird to have a door in your bathroom. But I feel like if you're the kind of person to have an outside shower like that, you're gonna have a door in your bathroom. I don't know. Maybe I'm delusional. I was trying to get the windows placed properly before I went over and got anything else. So I picked his bed. It's a small bed. Luckily, Elliott's house has a pretty 1 block radius. Just everything's kind of 1 block in his house. Everything's really close and compact. I mean, his house is tiny. It's tiny. I'll have a interior screenshot up on the screen now, but his house is tiny. It's not very big. And there's not really anything in the house. I don't know where he does his business. Like, he's got a desk, and he's got his piano, and he's got a bed. Where does the guy, go for, like, food? Does he eat at the saloon all the time? He can't. He leaves his house, like, once a day. And if it's raining, he doesn't leave at all. What does the man eat? I have issues with the way that the Stardew Valley houses are laid out. And they have become more apparent as I have designed these builds. I am already dreading Robin's house. Because, like, how am I going to make that work? I don't know how to build a basement in this game. I've never built a basement in The Sims before. Not in The Sims 2, so I'm going to have to learn how to build a basement. Oh, so here's the kitchen. Since I have nothing to go off of, I tried to keep that sort of beachy vibe in the hopes that it made sense. And he's got a mini fridge instead of a full-size fridge, Trying to keep it very simple, very beach. You know, he doesn't really have proper, you know, seating. He's got an outside table that he tosses some chairs around. And there's the shower. And then I was trying to find a good picture to be the one that he has right there in between the window and the desk. I think in game that's supposed to be a picture made by Leah, if I remember correctly. It's supposed to be one of Leah's artworks, which is really cute. They're such good friends. Ah, yes, and the flowers. He's got a lot of plants in his house. Like, he's got a pretty good amount of plants in his house, which is kind of nice. It's kind of nice to see. There's not much left here. I mean, even the walkthrough's not going to be very long. You can see why this is such a short episode. I'm having a hard time coming up with interesting things to say about the rest of this. Oh, I do think that instead of giving him just a little book sitting there, I did replace that with a bookshelf at one point. Because it made more sense to give him a bookshelf in that space than a single book sitting upside down. Yeah, I figured that made sense because, you know, Leah. Yep, there's the bookshelf. I figured it made more sense to give him a bookshelf than a stack of unusable books. So, yeah, there it is. All right, now it's time to put Elliott in the house. Oh, no, it's not. I forgot. I got to do the outside. This part was pretty easy. I mean, the little table and the light that he's got out there. I did have to fix that light later. And I did put lights in the house. I did go back and put lights in the house. I know that I am quite bad about that. And I don't put lights in the house very often. But I did go back and add lights to his house. I did turn off the day sun so that way I could come in and add the lights here and they'd actually turn on and I could see them. And then I replaced the wall light with one that actually lit up. So yeah, there's Elliott's cabin, and now we're going to get Elliott in here. Yep, here he is. It's small, but I think it fits, and, you know, it's Elliott. So I think it works. So here he is. He immediately went to go practice. Yep, this is the cabin. Elliott will come back out and you can see him. Yep, there he is. Our Elliott Finch. I'm quite happy with how the cabin turned out. I think it fits very true to the in-game version. While still being practical. Like, there's his little shower. He can come right off the ocean, shower off the sand, and then go into the bathroom. I know it's a little weird to have a see-through door in your bathroom, but suspend your disbelief. And then here's his little house. I'll put the screenshot of the interior of the house up on the screen again here, just so you can see it and see what changes I've made. I think the kitchen fits with the whole vibe of his house. It's not very big. It's not crazy. I think it works. You know, next episode will be longer. This is super short, but there wasn't much to say. I mean, his is a one-room cabin. But thank you so much for joining me. I hope you join me for the next installment of this. I'm having a fun time doing it, and I hope you're having fun watching them. Well, yeah, here he is. There's Elliott. Yep. That's all for me this episode. I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.